Okay, so here's the deal. I don't know where I'm gonna record here because I don't want to disturb anything off the trail. So this was probably a bad idea. I also broke my tripod in the first 2 minutes that I took it out. Never used it before. It's like this stretchy one that you can twist in certain ways to put the camera wherever you want. And I took it out and broke it as soon as I tried to move one of the arms. So now I have, is it a dipod? It's not a tripod. It doesn't have 3 legs anymore. I don't think this is the right spot. This is hard. Okay, we're going somewhere else. It's pretty out and there's no reason to be inside and not outside. Right now it's like 70 degrees and beautiful, and I wanted you here with me. And I'm holding the camera the whole time because I don't have anywhere to set it because I broke my tripod. So on the last health update I gave you, I updated you about getting my loop recorder out, which is like an implanted heart monitor. And I updated you about getting an IUD for potential endometriosis. And I also shared a significant health update about mental health and fatigue that I was dealing with. So in this video, I'm going to follow along with those updates and just give a general update about what my summer is going to be like. So if you haven't subscribed to this channel and you enjoy this content, please go ahead and hit subscribe, and that will notify you when I have new videos out. I really appreciate it. On this channel, I talk about my life with VEDS. I share pieces of my podcast, Staying Connected, where I talk to other people affected by VEDS, and just general community updates. So happy to have you here, and go ahead and hit that subscribe button. On May 13th, I got my loop recorder out, and this was really this was a long time coming, and I was so excited to get it out. So it is officially out. I'm gonna share with you a clip of that experience. What's actually funny is I thought that I was going to have this whole video put together and I was going to share the day, and so I started with this recording of me in the car on the way there. My husband was driving, and then I didn't record a single thing after that. I didn't record later that day, I didn't record later that weekend or later that week or anything. I just pieced out. So that is the only thing I have, but looking back on it, it was pretty funny, and I included it because I was obviously in a very good mood leading up to this coming out. We're on the way to get my loop recorder out. My loop recorder out. My loop recorder out. Don't run that yellow light. Oh, we ran it. It was all yellow.
Not slamming on the brakes just because it turns on.
So the procedure went super simply. The electrophysiologist, cardiologist guy was awesome, and he warned the whole team that I had vascular EDS and that he was going to be very careful and that we all needed to be very careful. The ironic thing is that when he made the first cut, it cut into a very small artery, I guess, on my chest that he didn't expect to be so close to the surface. So that was a minor complication that was handled very quickly, and it went just fine. Just a little scar. That's it. It's totally gone now. And I feel fantastic with it out. I'm still having a little bit of pain around the site. I think it's probably leftover bruising from the blood that he had to stop, but minor in the grand scheme of things. So I could not be more excited to have the loop recorder out. I've been wanting that out for a while, ever since we figured out that the TIAs, or transient ischemic attacks or mini strokes, were not related to a heart issue. It has felt just completely useless, and I am very happy to have it gone. Okay, update number 2. In my last video I shared that I was getting an IUD for potential endometriosis, and my OBGYN from that exam where she placed the IUD is very confident that if they actually did a laparoscopic procedure that they would find endometriosis because of how painful the exam was and how painful the insertion of the IUD was. I kind of wish that I had been put under for that. It was really a terrible experience, but it's in. The IUD has been in since March 16th. I don't know how many details to share, and I'm going to switch arms. So the first month was kind of miserable because my uterus was like trying to eject this thing, which I guess is a normal thing. But when my uterus contracts, like all of that endometrial tissue like squeezes on everything and causes a bunch of pain is my very general understanding of endometriosis. So it was very, very painful. For about a month, my uterus tried to push it out. So the month of March and the first half of April were pretty painful. But since then, I've had very minimal pain. I'm still having my cycles, and they're not as painful. They're just longer. But so far, so good. And I'm hoping eventually they just kind of stop and I don't have it. But at least now, like the last couple cycles, I've actually been able to function, which was not possible in the amount of pain that I was in before and in the amount of pain that I was in March. So that's like the quick update there. The IUD I have is a Kylena. It's like a small progesterone only IUD. But I don't know if there'll be any future updates from that. Hopefully it's in for 5 years and then they never have to touch it in 5 years and I don't have any problems and we don't have to fix anything. That would be best possible outcome. I think February was my last health update, and in that update I talked about my mental health and how it was struggling, and I started an antidepressant. I started Lexapro and it's going very well. My mental health is a lot better and I feel a lot more stable. Some of that creative energy is back for me, so I've dabbled in doing some art and stuff and feels good to kind of be back in that space. The challenge I'm still having is fatigue, and that seems to, like, I think I struggled with it maybe before my spleen rupture, but it definitely got worse after my spleen rupture. And so I don't know, like, I don't really know if that just triggered this chronic fatigue response, because now it's been like, I don't know, 8 months. October was my spleen rupture and we're in June right now. And it has been very challenging sometimes to, most of the time actually, to do anything other than work and not do anything else. So I've really been trying to start an exercise routine and keep like a light exercise routine going no matter how tired I am while they do blood work and things to try to find a cause. So far they really haven't found a cause in my blood work or in my urine, which is great. That means, I guess that's a good thing. I have a sleep study coming up in July to make sure that I don't have sleep apnea or something that's like really detracting from my sleep quality. So hopefully, actually I'm kind of hopeful that that does show something, because then we could address it, you know. Kind of feels better than something that doesn't have an answer and never gets a resolution. So that's where I am with that. I'm getting a sleep study July 18th, and I'm continuing on the antidepressants because they're helping me, and they have helped me. And I'm just really struggling with fatigue. I think today is actually a better day with it. And before you ask, all of my vitamin levels have come back fine. Vitamin D was great. B12 is great. I'm not anemic. Like, all of the causes that you would normally immediately jump to have been checked and are in check and doing fine. So that's one thing. There's something on my arm. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have a tick after this. What else can I tell you? I will be taking a break from videos for the summer, I think. Probably. I'll be recording interviews for the podcast over the summer for the fall season of the podcast. The YouTube algorithm really likes consistency, and I'm doing this in spite of that because I feel like humans need vacations and humans need time to relax, and I am not a machine. So I am taking a few weeks off from video and a few weeks off from YouTube content. I will be back when the podcast season starts. If there are any significant health updates, I will definitely do those over the summer. But otherwise, I'm planning to just relax for a little while and then do podcast interviews and then kick up the fall season in the fall, probably September. And I'm really excited about that. I really have been very excited about the podcast. I really enjoy doing it. I don't plan to ever stop doing it. If you're interested in sharing your story with vets on the podcast, I really encourage you to reach out to me. There's a contact me page on my website that I've included in the description of this video, and I really look forward to hearing from you. I love talking to people about their stories, and I'm really excited to continue this podcast in the fall. So other plans for the summer, I'm going to be at the Marfan Foundation conference in July. It's July 7th to 10th in Newport Beach, California. Of course, I work for the VEDS movement, which is a division of the Marfan Foundation, so I'm definitely going to be there. I was part of the planning, and I'm really excited to see my community again. I feel like I got a little taste of that at the Pacific Northwest Walk for Victory in Seattle in May, which was a beautiful day and wonderful connecting with people again. I'm looking forward to having that experience of reconnecting with my community after like 2.5 years of not really being able to connect in person a whole lot. I hope you're going to the conference. I'm looking forward to seeing you there, and I really just can't wait. On a final note, I started a Patreon a month ago. I started a Patreon, and if you're interested in supporting any of this content about VEDS, through the podcast or my YouTube channel. This is not associated with the Marfan Foundation or the VEDS movement, so if you want to support those endeavors, definitely go to the Marfan Foundation's website or the VEDS movement's website. But if you want to support this private content and support the podcast, which is reaching people around the world, I would love that. And I'm going to put a link in the description below. I really want to shout out to my Patreons who have joined already. I really appreciate it. It feels so strange to know that people want to support this, but I'm so grateful, and thank you for your support. Okay, that's it. Let's finish our hike. I can't believe I got through that whole update without somebody, more than one people. Oh, it's so pretty. There are the birds. I really hope that I'm always able to do this. I know that it might not be a reality, but I'm going to enjoy it as long as I can. Oh my God, I forgot something really significant. A couple months ago, I almost dislocated my left shoulder, which is like one of my only really hypermobile joints that I have with VEDS. And I was cleaning my hydroponic lettuce station. Like I have a hydroponic lettuce grow station that grows vegetables. It was a gift from my mom, and it's awesome. And I was cleaning it, and my husband handed me a piece, and then it fell, and I went to go catch it, and it felt like my whole shoulder was just gonna rip out of where it was. So I went to the doctor, and it was subluxed, and I have physical therapy starting in July. So I don't know how I forgot something like that, but there's a lot of things going on in my life, so I guess the shoulder is not in the top priorities of things to share. And now I'm gonna go back to my hike. This is a very unplanned, unprogrammed, unscripted, whatever. This video is not very much planned. This is on the fly. I have planned for a health update on Saturday and haven't made the time or haven't had the energy to record. And since I had energy for a hike today, which has become more unusual, decided to just do both. Look at this tree. Dun, 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 dun. So big. You can see that it's taller than me. Ta-da! I feel like I'm whispering this entire video because ironically, I don't like speaking in public. And I'm worried that somebody's gonna walk by and hear me talking to you all, which shouldn't be weird, but it's really weird just carrying a camera and talking, so I stand by that. It really is like taller than me. So close I can get. By like a foot, half a foot. I love nature. Better view. Okay, I'm gonna turn this off now. I love you all. Thank you for your support. Become a Patreon. See you at conference. See you in the fall. Love y'all. Bye. There's a truck. This vehicle stops and backs frequently. I believe it. Ooh. Ooh, it's a compost truck. Cool. I'm gonna be sedated. So the other song that has been in my head this morning is, what is it? The 24 hours to go. I wanna be sedated. Nothing to do, nowhere to go. I wanna be sedated. And then there's something about hurry, hurry, hurry before I something. Can't control my fingers, I can't control my toes. Oh no, oh, 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 oh. It's a red light. Bum, 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 bum. You're welcome. I have one hair sticking like straight up over here.